Right, this part of the tutorial I'll show you how to code dynamic objects. So if we go to the map, what we'll do, we'll find Denzel, I think. We'll do a little puzzle including Denzel. There we go. Now if you look here, Denzel's tile is just outside of a normal 8 box. Change him to white. If we zoom in, flip him, you can see that if we put him down as it is, it'll cut the edge of his tile off, which isn't too good, doesn't look very good. So what we'll do, flip him back, and we'll place him without using the snapped grid, which will now place his entire tile down, which looks a lot better. So we'll zoom back out again. Now, if we go into his properties, we need to change them because we've been using the key properties for the key item. So we need to change his class to action instead of item. We don't want to be able to pick him up. We need to change his ID to 2002 because we've already used 2000 and 2001 for the door. And that's it for Denzel. Oh, one last thing. The delay and the animation apply to Denzel because he's animated. The animation, you can either have it stopped, playing, or loop. Play just plays it once, loop loops through it all the time. So we'll keep it on loop, and delay 3 is about right. The higher the number there, the slower it loops, the slower it's animated. So we'll keep that. Now we'll pick the coin, the key again, because we want to put another couple of items down. So we'll select a couple of different items. I think we'll go for an apple this time. Don't want a yellow apple, nobody likes them, so we'll go for a green one. Plonk it down there, and we need to change that again. We need to change the ID of it, and that's fine because obviously we've already had all the rest of the properties set when it was a key. We'll also put an item down for when Denzel is actioned. So we'll put a bit of rope down there. Again, we change the property, the ID property. And on this, because we don't want it to be available just yet, we'll disable it and we'll enable it in the code when we complete Denzel's puzzle. So that's those done. We'll save that, and then we'll go to the code. Now, first things first, we mustn't forget this time to set the name of it. So object 1001 is a juicy apple, and 2002 is some rope. There we go. Now, most of the interactions code in DizzyAGE is pretty similar. So what we'll do here, we'll copy the door code and we'll use it for Denzel with some alterations. Obviously now you can see there's 2 door codes, so we'll change the bottom one to Denzel. Oops. Now Denzel's object 2002, so we'll change that. Nothing else needs to be changed in there yet. We'll also change it there, and we're wanting to use the apple on him, not the key, so we'll change the object that gets used on him. Now the messages, again we need to change that. And we'll put a line break in there because otherwise the text would be too wide for the window. again there. That doesn't sound very good, just take this rope. Now we've got the danger that that might go over the edge of the window, so we'll move the line break. Now the message here should be 1 because it's Dizzy speaking, and the message there should be 2 because it's another character speaking. We'll keep the message pop in, we'll keep the inventory sub in there to remove the apple from the inventory. Now this line, object find 2002, well, we don't want to disable him because it'd make him disappear. But on the other hand, we don't want to be able to action him again. So what we'll do instead, we'll change the class to 0. So instead of the class in there being action, once we've done his code, it'll change it to 0, which means he can't be actioned. So he'll still be there, but you can't do anything with him. Now, there is no brush, so we don't need this bit. So we'll delete that. But what we do want to do is enable the rope. So if we copy that bit of code, basically does the same thing, but instead we're finding object 1001, which is the rope, and we're changing the disable property of it to 0 so that it's now enabled. And that's it. The only thing is, there's nothing to tell us what he wants. So what we'll do up here is we'll insert a bit of code in there, because this is the first bit that it calls. We'll insert some code in there that uses the status of Denzel to tell us what, or to tell the code what to do. So we want if object get if it's 1, then do that. Now of course we haven't actually told it yet what IDX is, so we need to put a little line in before that telling it that IDX is equal to object find 2002, and put a semicolon at the end of it so that the game doesn't throw up a nice little error. Now we've told it what to do if the status is 1, but of course the default status is at 0, so we need to put that in as well. So if we copy that, paste it in again, and we'll delete what's inside it. And what we need to do now is copy a bit of the messaging. So message 1 and then message 2 from Denzel. There we go. Now once we've actioned him and got that little message from him, we then need to set the status. Object set status of IDX to 0. Oops, no, my mistake, to 1 instead. Put a little semicolon on it. Now the problem we've got here is that it'll run through that bit of code, set the status to 1, and then try to go through the next bit of code which tests if the status is 1. And because we've now changed it, it will be 1, so it'll open the inventory straight away. But we don't want it to do that. So we'll put a little return in that will stop the code right there and stop it from going on to the next bit, so that you have to press enter again for it to run through the code again and get the inventory. So that's it. We'll save that and then we'll run the game. First we need the key to open the door. And there we've got Denzel. So we'll press the enter button over him. There we go. How are you? He's hungry. That closes the thing. So we then open the inventory, use the apple on him. Here's some rope. And there we go. We're now not carrying anything because we've used the apple and the key. And there's some rope. Simple. And that's it done.